Tom Brady and had Coach Belichick as my head coach, and we knew the game was close, and we knew there was still time on the clock. Well, we knew we were going to win that game as well. We knew the opponent was screwed, and that's the same situation that the Kansas City Chiefs are in with head coach Andy Reid and with Patrick Mahomes at the quarterback position. And I feel like the Chiefs' strategy is very similar to a boxing match, to keep the game close throughout the whole time. And then in the 12th round, Mahomes just throws an absolute haymaker and KOs his opponent for the win.
I love the fact that you talk about you and Brady and winning in the fourth quarter. Didn't happen twice against the Giants, but that's another thing. Howard, you're up.
Well, I think it's been maybe their most challenging run to the Super Bowl and maybe their most impressive. You know, they had injuries at the wide receiver position, running back position. They scored fewer points. They had protection issues. They had to settle for 10, 12-play drives, playing close to mistake-free football, and at the end of the game, relying on the best closer in football. And someone's in every one of those 15 wins came up with some heroic play at the end of the game to win. It's a special team.
It's a special team, and a lot of things are different there in KC. Head coach is the same, no. Defensive coordinator Steve Spagnuolo the same. When you go to the other side of the Eagles, and they've had a big turnover too. They lost their legends. You lost Fletcher Cox. You lost Jason Kelsey. I mean, those guys were big parts of this team. But yet, you have a younger defense of the league led by Jalen Carter, who is one of the most dominant interior linemen in the league. And then you have Zach Bond. You brought in the all-pro linebacker. So I think, you know, we look at this, the Chiefs definitely know how to close out a game. If I'm Philly, I'm looking at this going, let's not even make it close enough for them to close it out.
Nope.
Yeah, Michael, when you look at it, just comparing these teams, you know, of course, Kansas City's got the two best with Mahomes and Andy Reid. But I think the advantage as far as the overall talent goes with Philadelphia, especially in the offensive and their lines. You look at it, and Gronk, that offensive line for Philadelphia, they're massive. Massive. Their average is 6'6", 340 pounds. Woo, and they're athletic. And then on top of that, you look at Philadelphia, they got the game breaker in Saquon Barkley.
And those guys have good feet.
Oh, they're athletic.
Good feet.
Yes.
Where'd that come from? Ooh. All right, we're going to talk much more about the game as we go. We're going to look around the league as well. As we look up and down Bourbon Street, you see all these fans. You're like, somewhere in there, Jay Glazer, maybe.
Actually, guys' crowd. Happy Super Bowl Sunday to Kurt and all of you guys out there on Bourbon Street.
They got the music.
The doors haven't opened here outside the Superdome, but we're about to get loud.
Hey, Carissa, me and Jules, man, we feel it. We feel it.
Hey, say that for
Superdome, baby. Super Bowl, man.
You know it's Super Bowl Sunday when you guys want to get back out there. Julian Edelman, Charles Woodson, and Michael Vick. And sadly, Michael Vick, this is your last show. But you are moving on to become the head coach of Norfolk State. We couldn't be more excited for you. Sad to see you go, but are you excited for your next gig?
Yeah, I'm very excited. And for one, I'm going to miss you guys, man. I'm truly going to miss you all, but, you know, I'm going to make sure I stay in touch without a doubt. It's been amazing being down in Norfolk State. You know, obviously it's a new journey, but look, everybody in the program understands the path that we have to chart moving forward. And, you know, it's going to take a lot of work, but, you know, it's what I signed up for. So right now, it's been a good experience. So far, so good. And I got to keep it going. We're going to try to take it one quarter.
We're going to miss you, right? But we still got you for a little while longer. We got a post-game show.
I'm going to enjoy it today.
But guess what?
I'm going to enjoy it.
It's got to be good for recruiting, though.
Got to. You at the Super Bowl, baby.
Hey, come get you. Norfolk State, baby. Let's go.
Y'all two show up. I'm really going to get some good recruits.
I love it. Okay, well, you got one more day of work with us right now. Super Bowl Sunday. So, Jules, focusing back on this game, what do you expect to see tonight?
I expect to see Saquon Barkley for the Philadelphia Eagles, the offensive player of the year in the National Football League, have an explosive day behind one of the biggest lines I've ever seen. Last week when we were in Philly, I was like, holy cow, how big are these guys? And also, I want to see how Spags, the defensive coordinator for the Chiefs, is going to use Chris Jones on the line of scrimmage to try to stuff that. Everyone says, hey, we need to put another guy in the box. I'm pretty sure everyone in the National Football League has put another guy in the box against Philadelphia, and they've won. Then lastly, Kellen Moore. Kellen Moore, is he going to be coaching this team next year? Yeah. The offensive coordinator for the Philadelphia Eagles, is he going to muster up enough courage to stay in the game plan? If he gets behind 10 points, is he going to just try to get into his drop back pass game and fall away from what got them here in that run game. There's so many exciting things here. I can't wait.
Yeah, the Chiefs have not allowed a running back to rush for over 100 yards this entire season. Woo! Of course, Saquon Barkley is a different beast. We will see. Charles, what do you have your eye on tonight?
For me, it's about rookies. And when I'm talking about the rookies, how lucky is it to be a guy who gets drafted to the Kansas City Chiefs or you get drafted to the Philadelphia Eagles? Because there's a good chance you're going to get to the Super Bowl. And the reason why I'm talking about the rookies is a couple years ago, they had rookies in this game, Karlaftis, McDuffie, Watson, Pacheco, guys that had to come up and play major minutes in the Super Bowl. And I'm not talking about sitting on the sideline. These guys were major players in the outcome of that game. You got lockdown corners. You got Pacheco picking up tough yardage when they needed it at times. And so this game, there's another couple of rookies on the other side that I'm looking to see what kind of impact they're going to have on the game. And that's Cooper DeJean, and that is Quinyon Mitchell. Quinyon's been a lockdown guy on the outside. And then Cooper DeJean's been on the inside. When they're in that zone, man, he's a guy that has to make a lot of tackles and things like that. And so they're going to have to go do a great job against an emerging Xavier Worthy today. They got to stop Kelsey from finding those holes in the zone, and they got to stop the crossing routes. And those guys are going to have a major say in what happens in this game.
We're seeing the shot right now inside the Philadelphia locker room. Wow, what a scene that is. Jules and I are going to head over that way in just a little bit. Quite a scene right there. Mike, what do you have your eye on tonight?
I think that it was mentioned by you and Jules, the running game. The run game is what drives offenses. It's what makes the offenses go. And I think, like you said, Jules, this is going to be Spag's toughest challenge as of yet. Nobody has been able to shut down Saquon Barkley. Nobody has been able to crack the code on how to, keep him from being that efficient running back each and every game. And look, every game he's popped a big run. Yeah. Like you say, do they stack the box? Do they play a traditional style of defense? But when it's all said and done, if the Kansas City Chiefs can't shut down Saquon and keep him from going over 100 yards, then I think the Philadelphia Eagles will win this game convincingly, because as much as I love to pass the football, and we love to pass the football as quarterbacks, the run game is what drives the team.
The clock, the whole thing. And how about for Saquon Barkley, if he is in fact able to win in his first Super Bowl? He's doing it on his 28th birthday. That's a pretty good birthday.
Hey, that'd be a great gift.
Awesome.
Amazing. Guys, we're at the Super Bowl, by the way.
Hey, Cooper DeJean.
Cooper DeJean.
Cooper DeJean's birthday.
It is.
Lights.
It is. All right. Inside joke. Okay. You guys, it is a big week here in New Orleans for someone on our Fox team. For more, I'm going to say something that I used to say in my 20s, Jules. I know you did too. Let's go back to Bourbon Street, shall we, Kurt?
Witness, we're joined now by the governor of Louisiana, Governor Jeff Landry. How cool is that for your native son?
Well, let me tell you, for me, it's real cool, because I told Terry, I grew up. My dad was a Saints fan. My little brother was a Dallas Cowboy fan. And I was a Terry Bradshaw fan and the Steelers. And he inspired so many Louisianians throughout his career to say, here's a guy from Louisiana who can go and play on the big stage so many times. You have no idea the impact you had on so many young men throughout the decades.
Thank you so much, Governor. Your first term as the governor of the great state of Louisiana, and you're doing an awesome job. And I got to tell you, 5 weeks ago, right down this street, there was a terrorist attack on this city, and if you want to say on this city, on this state, on this nation, the city of New Orleans has rebounded. There's such a resilient bunch of people, and a lot of that credit certainly goes not just to New Orleans, but to your leadership. What makes this so special, this town?
Well, I can tell you, look, we were here New Year's Day. We were here New Year's Eve. I decided to come and celebrate here thinking things are going well. We had been working so hard to welcome the Super Bowl to New Orleans, and then to wake up to that tragedy and have to deal with the victims and the families whose lives will forever be changed. But you know what? As I called through and spoke to those families, there was one theme that consisted: don't let this go in vain. Make sure that those that came here and lost their lives, they came here in a fun and festive atmosphere, and that's what New Orleans is about. This is a street that represents America. Right here. Any walk of life can come here and enjoy themselves, and that's what this city's all about. This is a Super Bowl city.
It is. And you know what, Governor? You can see by the thousands of people here, they feel totally safe and in a great festive mood, and it's all because of you and your leadership. And we at Fox and everyone here in the great state and city of New Orleans say thank you to you.
Well, I can tell you, Terry, the people who own the thanks the most are the men and women in uniform that you see each and every day, and the ones that you don't see that have been working 24/7 to make this city safe. They deserve the biggest thanks. They're the ones that, in my opinion, I give them the Super Bowl ring.
You know, the thing is that I learned this week a saying. They say New Orleans does not move on from tragedy, it moves through it. And I think this is really indicative of what it is. People understand, they memorialize, but they move forward and move through it and let the party continue. Thank you so much, Governor Landry.
Thank you so much. What an honor. Thank you.
All right, as part of this party spirit here in New Orleans, once again, we are joined by the Preservation Hall Jazz Band. Take us to break, fellas.
thật ở tôi mình sẽ dán cái tai này lại nha.